Hey guys, today I'm still working on the project, so the engines are inside, but I'll put more videos about that later. So what I'm trying to build now is gonna be the brake booster. It's one of the hardest things to take off in the car, especially with the engine inside. So this is the NA version of this. So they'll say like something like this, like ABS or something. The other one is like RWF, four-wheel steering. So this one's just gonna be particularly for the NA models. I think it's gonna be 1990 to 96 with the NA models. So, but anyways, yeah. So the way to take this off is gonna be super hard, and one of the first things I'd probably recommend doing is probably taking out the master cylinder. So it should be facing about this way. Well, the two lines are facing out, one right there, 10 millimeter flare wrench, and make sure you actually take them off. Just have a lot of space to do it, so it's gonna take a lot of wiggling out just to take out the brake booster for this one. So it's kind of difficult. So you gotta loosen this one up for the fuel line rail, or the fuel line bracket, whatever you want to call it, right here next to the fuel filter. What I recommend doing is bolting the accelerator cable with the fuel filter bracket just right here. Should be 10 millimeter bolt, 10 millimeter bolt right there too, so you can have some wiggling space so you can lift it up. So oh yeah, also recommend disconnecting the brake connection for the brake master cylinder. And there's where the rod goes that connects to your brake pedal. So it's gonna be, these are the studs that holds it in, and it's gonna be something like this. It's all gonna be 12 millimeter. Recommend having recommend having quarter inch for this, and it's going to be one of the difficult challenges. So there's a pen for this. Should be something a little bit white on top, and care less about that one. All we care about is the pin that holds it in. I recommend having kind of like a flathead screwdriver. So I'll show you one like a long, I got this Harbor Freight Tools. I'm not too sure what number is this one, but just a long flathead screwdriver. Let me just move this out of the way. This is gonna be super challenging. You want to remove this one too for the heaters. Oh, okay. There's one. Go under here before I start showing you this. Yeah, this is gonna be super challenging because you're gonna be definitely on the floor a lot. Just for this little challenge. Okay, a little opening hole right there. That's where the brake booster, the other side ends, comes in. And before we start, I recommend doing this. I don't know where this goes already. So you should go something like about there. Let's try to zoom out. Okay, that's where the HVAC line. I took it off, but not completely removing it. This is challenging. It's up to you. So recommend taking this bolt off right here that bolts onto this computer. I'm not too sure what it is, but so you can have a little leeway so you can bend it over. So Okay, the first 3 is gonna be really easy. Before we start, let me see. Okay, you gotta consider this is back inside the car, so nothing's just be taken apart. So okay. Okay, there's a little opening hole right here. Zoom back in. Okay, right about right about all over here next to the modular. So the pen should be facing like that. Pin should be facing like that. You get the flathead screwdriver, you pull it off. The end rod of the brake master cylinders hold on to this one, your brake pedal. Once you take that off, right there, that open hole, that's where it should be the pin at, and the cotter pin. Let me see. Like that. The pin should be going like that little white thing on top. Just use like to pry out the body panel tools. Not too sure. I don't think it serves any purpose, because the main purpose is holding on is just going to be this cotter pin. So this is what actually holds the whole thing. So just like the same thing as if you do the clutch over here. So right there, you just see it. That's the rod end of the clutch, so that's a cotter pin. Just like that, you just push it out. It just be the same process if you're doing for the brake master cylinder. If you're trying to remove the brake booster, so the brake booster, that's where it goes, and you take out the 4 bolts that's holding on to this. It's going to be very challenging. Let me just drop this down. I should say not bolts, because the ends are studs. There's 2, one on top, one on the bottom. The bottom's easy, the top one's super hard. I'll show you that in a bit. And the last 2 are right there. These 3 are super easy. You can just use a 1/4 inch, short 1/4 inch, no, 1/4 inch, but 12 millimeter socket short for all of those 3. And for this one, I recommend having like a wrenchable wrench like this. Something like this, just a lot easier because you get some leverage. This is the hardest part. This is how you do it, because all these 3 is going to be super easy. Like I said, you just use a 1/4 inch for these 3. One right here, one up there, or 1, 2, and 3 above that. So 2 on the right are going to be easy. You just use a 1/4 inch with the 12 millimeter socket short. Same thing over here on the left side of my left side. So this is going to be a 12 millimeter short. Then this one, you can't use no socket because this one's blocking out of the way. But that's why you take this one off. Have some little leeway. Just get like a little pry bar, and that's it. And I recommend having the mountain wrench, because you can just push this bracket in a little bit, so you can just adjust it a little bit. doesn't really serve any purpose. It's just set for the holding onto this, for the brake pedal, and just for the brake booster where it goes through right here. So you can just bend it in, but I'll bend it in later. And once you do that, of course, you use the 12mm side like that. And you can just wrench it. It's gonna take a while. So it's like, probably for me, like took like 10 minutes, just because back and forth slowly, because you got no space. So you just put your finger right there. Let me see. It's not hard. So once you're in there, you turn the wrench while you hold a little black line, so it can spin without spinning freely. So it can just keep spinning around and around and around. And it's gonna take a while to take out this bolt off with enough cursing and swearing. Then the whole thing completely comes out, and this one's loose. This is the brake pedal. So you don't need to remove everything. This is how I did it. It was a lot challenging, but I was able to do it. Then you come over here. You're able to pull it out, and like I was telling you about, these are the studs that hold it. So this is the one I'm talking about, where it says you need to use a wrench. It's a long thread. It's a huge long thread, so it's gonna take a while. So it took me like 10 minutes. So, but it should be in there like that, so you can start wiggling like a pry bar or something. My hat on. Come on, here's all the way. So, like I said, make sure you just have the brake cylinder out. It's a lot easier. Then what I did was just use a pry bar. Just keep pulling it out on the side, just around on the body frame, the firewall, and just keep pushing out, and when you're at the end where you can't pull it up, recommend doing is just use pry bar, something like this. Because once you take it off, okay, because you're gonna end up going like this. So, but this part is hitting this bracket for the fuel line, for the fuel filter. And what you need is just a little pry bar, and you can just pull it up like that, because everything's gonna be easy. Just this little space right there. This thing's hitting it, that's why you loosen it up, because this end part right there is holding on to it. Go right there, just a little. Make sure you just get the end, you slide in a little bit, pull it up. No, I don't care if you're replacing it, it's all good. You don't care if this should break. So there you go, there you have it. That's where all the thing comes out. It's just gonna be a lot of prying. Like I said, these are the big master cylinder lines. Of course, you have to bleed all the air out again from the brake calipers from the rear to the front. Then you do the ABS. Then you do this master cylinder. And yeah, that's just how I do it. It's quite challenging, and it just takes a lot of patience. So it probably took me about an hour. But yeah, I know it's challenging with this. So, and pull that sucker. Oh yeah, I totally forgot about this until the end. Make sure you take out this the brake booster vacuum line. Should be right there. So sometimes it's hard to do it, but I upgraded mine to the Z1 Motors Sports for the silicone line. So, and you just pull it up with the little, use something like this. Just pull it up for the clip right here, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, and that's your brake booster check, your brake booster valve. So that one's good. Just this one was whistling for me, so you see, like, oh my god, see, like it's already pulling out. Wow. See, that is not good. It's not supposed to do that. That's why my thing is creating, was losing pressure, so I think that's why the seal is broken. Air is letting inside, so that's why it's creating that whistling noise. So hope you find this video helpful. It is going to be challenging, so if you want, also what I totally forgot to do is, if you want to take this one off, I'm not too sure what size is that exactly though. It should be a 12 then, I think. Yeah, it'd probably be a lot easier if we took that, because the rod is pretty big in the end part. Sorry, I have these wrenches. Oops. That was probably 14. Yeah, it's just gonna be a 14mm wrench. See, that's how I have it. It's kind of messy, but it's whatever. I should have done that from the beginning, so it's probably a lot easier if you take this part off. So you want this struggle to pull it out from the hole right there. A lot easier, so it makes it a lot easier for yourself. I should have done it, but totally forgot to mention you should do this first too. So I would say recommend doing it when you have the pin in, then you loosen it up, then you take off the pin, the cotter pin, then you knock off the pin that goes through the hole with the brake pedal. Then you can just loosen it up and be a lot easier to take it off. So there's not too much videos about this. It's only like 1 or 2, so I'll be the next one to do this. So these parts are hard to find, especially right now, so I think I'm gonna just go to a shop where I can rebuild it. So if you have any questions, let me know. So I know it's quite some long video, but I'm trying to show you all the steps how to do it. So, and yeah, make sure you have all these loose and everything. You don't have enough space, brake cylinder, and that's it. All right, then, see you guys.